beautiful morning. As always, I'm trying to carry way too much stuff, coffee, little slider. Couple interesting things are happening today. First of all, it's church. I'm pumped just to be back at church again this week. I haven't played in a while, so I'm playing this morning. It's gonna be fun. But also, I'm gonna be using my BASN headphones. So they are some headphones that were sent to me by a company, like 45 bucks. And they're kind of like universal fit ears that kind of are shaped like custom mold ears, so like they fill your ear canal a little bit more. So I'm gonna use those one service, and then my 1964 ears, another service. So basically 45 versus 450 on the headphones. So we're gonna see how that goes. It's gonna be fun. Alright, so let's take a look at these headphones comparatively. Alright, so I've got the BASN, and then I've got my 1964 headphones. Alright, so first, let's look at my 64s. Alright, so I've got my initial on them and right and left. Kind of to be dumb, it's pretty easy to tell. So these are custom molded to my ear. So again, I think a lot of that comes into play in the ear canal, the inner ear. So they're gonna go really, really deep into your ear with that. All right, so let's look at these BASN headphones. Okay, which I currently have the telephone cable on them, cord on them. All right, so they've got a universal fit ear, but it's kind of like, again, the ear canal. So here's the comparative size. The 64s are a little bit bigger, but I think where they're going to be especially big, where it matters, is they're going to go deeper into the ear canal. But I mean, the BASNs are not tiny by any means. Again, they're still like larger than your custom molds. I mean, larger than your normal universal fit. So I'm not really sure if that is going to play into the isolation. When I had them in, just listening to music, it seemed to isolate pretty well. So we're going to see. It's a 7:05 now. Currently the first one here. I think Travis may be here doing some production stuff, but anyways, I'm gonna work on the material a little bit before everyone else gets here. Wrapped up first service, and I used the BASN headphones. So a couple of great things. One, the isolation was good. Like, they isolated really well. They stayed in, they stayed firm. Another thing, I didn't have to change my volume. So again, I usually use my 1964 quad driver ears. So usually other headphones cannot handle the same volume. I've got to turn the volume way up to get anything comparable. So I use the same volume setting, so that's huge for me. Trying to think of other good things. Yeah, so they almost sound like they've got a compressor on them. You know, it just seems like everything's a little crispy, which you may not like that, you may like that. So for me, I really like the source. So I've got a good mix, everything sounds perfect. My drums sound great in my ears. So it translated really well. I mean, the downside, there's not really, in my opinion, actually, there's not a whole lot of downsides. I'm just not expecting these to be $500 in-ears. If I'm expecting these to be $500 in-ears, then yeah, there's gonna be some downsides. But for 45 bucks, I think they performed really well. I played service. There wasn't any noticeable thing that I was like, that sounds terrible. My ears aren't really fatigued, which is another thing I expected. I expected them to be like really hurt and, you know, like shrill and kind of hurting because, again, I'm dumping a lot of stuff in this Aviom into my ears, but they held up really well. They stayed in, they stayed sealed, they stayed locked. At one point, one of the ears shorted out, so I wasn't sure what that was. I unplugged it and I plugged it back in. Didn't happen again, so I'm not worried about that. But I'm gonna use my 1964 ears for the next service and see what I think. But so far, man, they performed really well. So I use my BASN headphones for first service and my 1964s for second service. And again, overall, I'm actually really impressed with the performance of the BASN headphones. Again, I didn't have expectations of a $500 headphone on them. One of the things I wanted to hear was good isolation, the fact they would stay in, not give me like a lot of ear fatigue, right? Not so harsh that made my ears hurt. And they did great. Where they exceeded my expectations was they actually matched the volume level pretty well of my custom molded ears. I didn't have to crank my volume up or really mess with my EQ a lot. Again, I don't really see them as having any major failures. For $45 headphones, you're not going to expect full, thick, rich bottom end, super articulate highs. They did a great job. Again, they did a great job of isolating. I would say pretty similar, honestly, to my 1964s. Not quite as good because, again, they're custom, so it's not gonna be the same. But man, I mean, to be honest, I'm impressed with these little guys. They're definitely going in my bag as like an emergency backup if I forget a pair or anything. So I would say check them out. I mean, if you need some practice ears or some ears to go to the gym in, there's probably other things on Amazon similar. But you know, these guys sent me these ears, and I mean, if they were trash, I would just say, hey, they're trash. But I was pretty impressed with them. They did a great job for what I wanted. I was able to get through service pretty painless. So yeah, BASN B Singer Plus Pro. They were awesome. So service was great today. Again, I'm on a bigger setup, 16-inch hats, 20 crash, 18-inch ozone type crash, and a 22-inch crash as my ride, using my vintage Ludwig snare for 125 bucks. Check that vlog out for some more info. But thanks for joining me today at Royalwood Church. Give this video a thumbs up, like it if you would do that, that'd be awesome. Also, if there's someone you think would kind of like this kind of stuff, share it with them, that'd be great. And finally, I'd love for you to subscribe, follow along, you get notified when new content drops. Also, I've got a link to these guys here in the description, along with a bunch of other stuff, just a bunch of gear that I've got, iPhone microphones, you know, tripod stands, stuff to record with, all the microphones on this kit, everything that we're using is in the description. Links to all that is in the description below, so check all that out. And finally, if you're a subscriber, if you're a faithful subscriber, I would say, you hang out, you follow this stuff. Man, comment on something, ask me a question. I'll respond to every comment on this video. And I would ask that you just share this with somebody. Get someone else on this channel. The whole purpose of this is to share resources, share my experiences. I've got lessons, I've got all kinds of stuff. I have a huge library. If you're a new subscriber, go back through my videos. I have like over 200 videos of this kind of stuff and songs and worship stuff from church. So man, check all that out. Thanks for hanging with me, and we'll see you guys in the next one.